Here with us is the mother of one of those hostages, Rachel Goldberg-Polin. Her son, Hersh, is one of the hostages taken in those October 7th attacks. Rachel, first, I want to say thank you so much for being with us. How are you doing this morning?
That's always the hardest question to me. But I'll say in the bigger picture, that we do remain hopeful. We always say hope is mandatory. We're staying optimistic. We're trying to stay positive, and a lot of praying. As you're showing, our son, after 200 days, we did get a proof of life. A video was released of him in his current condition. You can see his left arm has been amputated. He was attending the Nova Music Festival with his best childhood friend when the festival was attacked. Hersh is a civilian. He's an American-Israeli dual citizen. His arm was blown off while he and his friend were both hiding from the attack. His friend was blown up and killed during the attack, and 18 others who he was hiding with were killed that day. And he and 3 other boys like him were taken hostage. We have video of that. So, right now we're just desperately trying to do whatever we can. He's obviously in a very fragile, compromised medical situation. And we are hopeful that the men in the room will lean forward and do the right thing for all of the people in this region suffering. Hundreds of thousands of innocent civilians in Gaza are suffering. There are 103 hostages who are in Gaza who are suffering. Their families are suffering. And it's time to bring a close to this chapter.
Rachel, what would you say to Prime Minister Netanyahu?
Well, I'm not a political strategist and I'm not a military tactician. So I am a mother. You can imagine your own mother, what she would be going through for 212 days if she knew you were going through what I know my child is going through. I would simply say, I really hope that you and all of the parties have the courage to do the right thing and have the bravery and the wisdom to do the thing that is best for the innocent people and to love the people who you represent more than you hate the enemy. I would say that to all of the representatives in the room. I wouldn't single out one.
Rachel, tell us about Hersh. I've been watching his videos. He just seems like such a happy young man. Tell us more about him.
Hersh is a laid-back, happy-go-lucky, clever sense of humor, dry sense of humor guy who is obsessed with soccer. He loves music festivals. He's wild about travel and geography. He's a voracious reader. He's a real citizen of the world and a curious person. He loves asking questions and really leaving room for you to give an answer. He has very little ego, just like his dad, which is a wonderful quality. And we miss him beyond description, and we love him bigger than the sky, and we need him home, and we need all 132 hostages home. And what doesn't get mentioned enough, Hena, is that, these hostages represent 25 different nations. They are Muslim, Christian, Hindu, Jewish, and Buddhist. I hear very little mentioned about the Arab Muslim hostages. I hear very little mentioned about the Thai Buddhist hostages. I hear very little mentioned about the Black African Christian hostages. I actually also hear very little about the 8 U.S. citizens who are being held hostage. And I think we do an injustice and a disservice when we erase their identities and we just make them a number and a monolithic, homogenous group.
Speaking of numbers, can we talk about the number on your T-shirt? Tell me about 212.
That is the day since Hersh has been stolen from me, stolen from my husband, John, stolen from himself, from his life. Every single day I put a new piece of masking tape and write the number on it because I think it's important that the world sees that we have still failed these human beings, these 133 cherished human souls from all over who are from different backgrounds. I think the human species has failed them. I think that we owe to these human beings, that everyone come together, and people who are protesting, I completely think it is fair. You can hold two truths. You can be worried about the innocent civilians in Gaza, and you can be worried about the innocent civilians in Gaza who were dragged there on October 7th and are also suffering terribly. You can hold those two truths. And I think when you don't hold those two truths, not only are you doing a disservice, but you are really, something is off calibration in terms of your humanity. We should be worrying about all the people who are suffering there, not just one particular brand of human.
I can't imagine the suffering that you're going through. My heart goes out to you and your family. How are other families who have family members that are hostages? How are you guys supporting each other? Do you guys talk much?
Well, there is the Bring Them Home organization, Family Forum, where people are constantly, there's a lot of support. We also have a smaller group of just the 8 American families. We give each other a lot of support. But it is beyond description, as you said. I mean, this is not normative trauma. This is an ambiguous, ongoing trauma. It is constant. As I'm talking to you, it feels like there is a branding iron on my back. It is emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, and physically the most excruciating, elegant pain one can imagine.
It is beyond description. I totally understand that, and I appreciate the bravery that you brought to the show and telling this side of the story. I know it's not easy. Rachel Goldberg-Polin, we're thinking of you and your family, and of course praying for Hersh's safe return. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.